Welcome to my first ever top 50 countdown of the comic books in my collection. I love a good top 50 video, so I thought I'd make my own. Let's get the honorable mentions out of the way here, and then we'll maybe hit some things. Oldest book comic in my collection, this King Comics. I believe this is a Gerber 6, so pretty rare, I guess, maybe. King Comics 31, this is from 1938. Cool book. Relatively cheap for, maybe a rare book from 1938. Maybe. Does anybody want it? I don't know. I think it's cool. Next honorable mentions. These cool Dick Tracy books. If you're not a Golden Age collector and you're interested in Golden Age, look at these colors on these Harvey books. So this is from Harvey Comics. This is Dick Tracy Comics Monthly. And you can get these for relatively inexpensively. Some pretty cool covers. Got some violence on them for the kiddos. You know how kids like violence. We got blood dripping out of people's head. That's cool. We got people being shot. Give it to your kids to read. They'll grow up and be law-abiding citizens. This one's really cool. I don't know if the camera will pick up. It's like this deep purple around the edge, and you have Dick Tracy in the black suit jumping through the window. Got a old boy knocked out. We got some violence against kids. That guy's getting kicked there, Junior. So anyway, if you're interested in Golden Age, these are something to look at. And again, the colors are just fantastic, and they don't really break the bank yet. Maybe they will one day. Also, I thought I'd do this sort of thing. I have some number ones here. This technically isn't a number one. It's Thor 126, but it's the first issue of Thor. Normally it's Journey into Mystery. We have Aquaman number 1 over there, Spectre 1, Submariner and Hawkman 1. I have my list here. Things would have had to get kicked out for number 1 issues, which are really cool. I like having the books, but I don't know if they're top material. So I just went ahead and said, I do have some number 1s in here, but we'll get to that. But I just went ahead and said, I'm going to not count these as part of my top 50. You could probably very easily throw these into my my countdown instead of what I have to show. But also I thought I would go through, and the way I broke this down is, well, first off, I tried to be fairly objective in pulling my books here. I went through pretty much my whole collection, and I thought if I was someone who wasn't me going through my collection, which books kind of jump out like, oh, wow, oh, these are cool books. These are good books right here. Obviously, they're not all in the countdown, as these are pretty cool books. And like I said, you could argue with some of the validity, I guess, with some of the others, but I just picked books that I love, that I think are important to the industry as a whole, or maybe important going forward. Anyway, we'll kind of talk about it a little bit as I go through, but I went ahead and just broke down essentially by decade here. We have our modern, our copper, our bronze, everything like that. So we'll just start off with my first selection, and I do cheat, and I don't care, with Batman 656. And I have 2 copies of 655. This is the first appearance of Damian Wayne in Cameo and his first full appearance. And that's from 2006. Like I said, I went by year here. We'll kind of just go through. This is, I feel like, a pretty important book. Static number 1. Got a couple of those. And that's from June of 93. That's significant for first time a black superhero, I think, had his own animated show and kind of went on to some degree of fame, and it's from the early 90s, so it's getting up there in age already. This really nice Glenn Fabry cover to the first appearance of Bane for Vengeance of Bane, and that came out in January of 93. Bane is probably my favorite Batman villain, so that's making the list. I have argued that this is the first appearance of Gambit, but this is me cheating. We have Uncanny X-Men 266, and you might as well pick up this annual from, they're both from 1990, of the first full, I guess, appearance of Gambit, and his first full first appearance of him. Here's what I think. I'll give you the spiel real quick. These are kind of episodic stories, if you didn't know. They come out month at a time, usually. This is a story, and they wrote the story in order for Gambit to come and appear, and then later in this one, well, schedules got messed up, and this hit the newsstands before this book, so people think that this is the first appearance. He shows up, they call him by name, but without this, you're like, who the heck is that? Where did this guy come from? Well, you need this one to figure what that one is. And I think that if something happened and they were making a TV show and episode 3 got aired before episode 2, you wouldn't go ahead and say, well, their first appearance was actually in episode 3. Well, was it? I mean, it's kind of a weird thing that happened, but anyway, so I count that as the first true full appearance of Gambit. Is that all our 90s books? That's all our 90s books. This is a cool book. We have this was really hot for a while, the TMNT Adventures #1 from 1988. August of 1988. This has some first appearances of, I believe, Kang and then Rocksteady and Bebop. I think that they're in their animal form in this one, so it's not the oozed up version, but that's still a cool book. This, and again, all these aren't going to be, obviously these books are more expensive, especially than this Watchmen #1, but the impact that Watchmen had to the comic book industry is pretty well documented at this point, so I think it's a pretty important book that kind of belongs to be in the top 50. At least my top 50 anyway. This one's another cheat. I have X Factor 5 and 6. First cameo and full appearance of Apocalypse. This is from, excuse me, 1986. Watchmen was 1986 as well. These were, I think the Watchmen was September. This is June and July. And again, these can be had for fairly inexpensively, but still, like, Apocalypse is... But there's Magneto, and then Apocalypse is probably the second biggest bad in X-Men history, right? Maybe? He's up there anyway. First slab of the top 50. It's 8.5, white pages. Newsstand, if you care, from 1985, June of 1985. This is the first full appearance of John Constantine. Constantine, if you're English. But really cool book. I'm a Constantine fan, so... And that's a great cover, too. Anyway, awesome book. Let's keep going. Is this more important than any of these #1s? I'm not sure, but we have Teen Titans 44. It's a pretty important book. It's the first full appearance when Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing. He becomes his own man, steps out of Bruce Wayne's Batman shadow. Pretty important book. Nightwing's gone on to have his own series, everything like that. Omega Men #3. This is from June of 1983. First Lobo. Cool book. All right. What do we have? April of 82. Some Dave Stevens, First Rocketeer. That's Mike Grell on the cover, but Dave Stevens, First Rocketeer from 1982. Top 50, I think that's like my number 39-ish. Don't quote me on that. And I believe that this is the last book from my 80s. This is from November 1980. This is the first appearance of Mongol. I think it's a pretty underrated big bad in the DC comic universe and for Superman. So, and can be had for, all of these from the 80s can be had for relatively cheaply, inexpensively. And they're all cool books, and they're in my top 50. This is probably my first big book here. 7.5 white pages from February 1974. We're going to skip all the way down. So we went from 19, we skipped ahead 6 years-ish for the first appearance of the Punisher. Awesome character, nice book. I'm thinking, toying around with the idea of downgrading, getting out of my 7.5, getting something a little lower, just kind of recycling funds, but I don't know. I'm kind of happy with it. It looks really nice. The yellow is the colors are very nice on it with the white pages. I'll probably hold on to it. All right, next, guys, I didn't know what to do. This is another one of my cheats. Technically, I think low grades don't really count right now. Ghost Rider #1, Marvel Spotlight #6. This is the second appearance of Ghost Rider, and this is first entitled. This one came out, let me look here, October of 72, August of 73. So almost a full year later for this one. So, you know, we're cruising along. Like, Ghost Rider's been around for a bit. I mean, it's landmark for him to get his #1. I understand that. And grades notwithstanding, mine's pretty low. This objectively is the higher, I don't know what you would want to call it. This is the better book, I guess. This is the more of the money book. But I don't know. Like, I feel like second appearances are kind of undervalued in the community. They just don't get the recognition that I think that they should a lot of the times. There are some that are out there, but, you know, landmark character like Ghost Rider, and for, you know, the second appearance. I mean, look at Deadpool. Maybe not the best example. It's a common or a modern book, but, you know, you can get the second appearance of Deadpool for nothing. All right. Here's kind of the first of my, I don't know if that should go on the list, but it's my list, so it's going on there. We have the first appearance of Red Sonja. It's not the first full appearance. It's not the first in cameo. I think that this has been fairly well debunked at this point. This is the first appearance of Red Sonja. End of story. If you want to call this one the first cover, that's fine. Imagine if this was the cover on this one. No offense, Gil Kane, but look at that. So I'm counting both of these on my top 50 because I love Conan, and this is a beautiful cover by Barry Windsor Smith. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, that's 24 for, that's February, maybe in March of 1973. Those are both 73. They came out in the same year, a little bit earlier than our Ghost Rider books. This is from, you know how DC do, February, March of 1972. This is another character that I really like. This is a 6.0 of All-Star Western 10. First appearance of Jonah Hex. There he is right up there with El Diablo and Batlash. It's not the best cover in the run. It's still pretty well nice. I like all those shadows and everything. I'm a sucker for silhouettes, but there's some very cool Neal Adams covers in this group here. If you haven't read any Jonah Hex, do yourself a favor. Get Jonah Hex. I like Conan. I like Usagi. I like Jonah Hex. I like the wandering individual. I guess Usagi's not just an individual now, but this is a 6.0. So it's mostly, I think, due to this kind of standing on the back. It looks very nice on the front, presents really well, but I'm a fan of the wandering, vagabond, do-gooder, if you will. Jonah Hex is kind of nice. I like the ones where they have a little bit of a sordid past, or, you know, they always end up doing the right thing, but they're not afraid to, to hurt some people along the way. It's always a fun character. Here we have a nice 7.0 off-white to white pages of first appearance of John Stewart and this nice Neal Adams Green Lantern 87. This is from January of 72. So it's just a real nice book here. Nice clean 7.0. Whites are really white. Cool book. Cool character. All right, moving along here. I got this one early on in my collecting career for... I don't know if the seller on eBay knew exactly what it was. I think maybe they listed it as a Defenders 1. And I got a whole lot of Marvel features, 1, 2, 3, and a couple early of the Defender run for fairly inexpensively. Anyway, this is, where am I at here? Okay, December of 71. Okay, so December of 71. So it's basically around the same time as our Green Lantern book. But this is the first appearance of the Defenders. Nice team. Throw Silver Surfer in there from time to time. But Namor, Hulk, and Doctor Strange, how can you go wrong? This is a big book for me. This is one reason that really got me into collecting. This book did not shoot up in value when I was purchasing it. I just saw this cover, and I was like, what is this? This is awesome. It's a magazine format. We have Savage Tales 1, and this is from May. I have to figure out what 5 is in months. May of 71. This is the first appearance of Man-Thing. I guess that's why this is a key or might make somebody's top 50 list. But I just love it because of the cool painted John Buscema cover. Look at this. We have Conan just standing over on top of the foes. We got Guy lurking in the back like he's going to do something. We got the girl as is classically draped on Conan's leg here. He's saving the day. I like decapitation covers, especially now, I guess, and it definitely is savage. So I saw this, I had to have it. Didn't really care too much about Man-Thing. It's just a very cool piece of comic history, piece of Conan history, and a really cool book. Not that there's anything wrong with Man-Thing, but this is a book here. Got this 15 center Mr. Miracle one, some Jack Kirby goodness, as we all say. And this is from, I believe, April of 71. First appearance of Mr. Miracle. From here, as you know, we go on to New Gods, everything like that. So, pretty important book in the DC universe, especially with its ties to Darkseid and everything. This is another one. This is Conan #1. 1970, October 1970. Great Barry Windsor Smith cover on this one as well. Like I said, I'm a Conan fan, had to make my list. And I think that's it for my 70s books. We'll be getting to the Silver Age here really soon, but look at that. If you haven't read Conan, go read some Conan. It's not all superheroes. All right, where's my 60s spot? 60s, here we go. All right. So again, some of these are not necessarily keys, but here's another great John Buscema. This is Silver Surfer 4, classic cover. Is this carving inroads in the what it means for comic books? No, but it's a sick-ass cover, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this one in my top 50. We're going to do a slew of classic covers here in this whole set. Look at that. Here's another one, Captain America 109. Look at these back-to-backs. So this was January of 69, and then you get February of 69. And that's just a classic, awesome Captain America book. And then we're just gonna keep them coming. Look at this. This king-size Hulk #1. Jim Steranko, the man, the myth, the legend. Look at all those. How nice is that? Can you imagine seeing all those on the newsstand? Just boom, boom, boom. When was this one? Let me look. October of 68. So all within a few months of each other. I think they're really up in the games. And the colors on these are just beautiful. Fantastic. I was very happy to get these. I'm a bit of a cover collector, so had to have those. Here we go. I was talking about second appearances and them not getting their due. This is Detective Comics 373. This is the second appearance of Mr. Freeze, and the first time he's referred to as Mr. Freeze. Whoa, what was he? It was not so. All I'm blanking. It's all I can think of is Sub-Zero. But anyway, this is a great book. This is from, let me find my spot, March of 68. So very cool. I was going to go through and look up, well, when was the first appearance, and I didn't do it, so I don't know. This is kind of a catch-all. Here's another thing that you might not be into. Romance books. Romance books have a lot of cool covers, a lot of great colors on those covers, and some drama-filled stuff, very soap opera-y. And I think they're fantastic. I've been getting into them a bit recently. I threw this one in there as a representative of the genre as a whole. This is one of the more, I don't want to say sought after, coveted, but this is one of the more upheld books, covers in the collecting of romance books. So it's a super cool cover by the artist J. Scott Pike. You know him from Showcase something, is it 49? I can't remember. Anyway, the first appearance of Dolphin, that awesome green cover with the woman in the water. So, but that's him who does this. And this is Young Romance 150, and this is from November of 67. So the 60s had a lot of cool covers. Here's a big book, Fantastic Four 48. It's a 3.5, And this is the first appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus. Cameo on the last page. Off-white to white pages. Yeah, what can I say? It's a cool book. Big book. All right. I decided that some of these were fit in the top 50. This is the first Silver Age appearance of the Spectre. This is 6.5 from January, February of 1966. Marvel versions of these books go for quite a bit of money. The DC characters do not. I don't know if that will ever change. It might always have that Marvel premium, but still a good book. Again, I was going to look and be like, well, when was the last time that the Spectre appeared in a story? And this is from 66. It's kind of into the Silver Age. It's not right in the beginning. I don't know if this... Again, I think we could interchange some of these books, but I think this is a good book here. Strange Tales 135. This is from 865. And this is the first appearance of S.H.I.E.L.D. And when Nick Fury, Sergeant Fury, becomes an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a pretty big moment for Marvel Comics. Pretty big moment for Nick Fury as a character as he goes from the battlefield to the field, an agent in the field, however you would want to phrase that. And it's Jack Kirby. So I just thought this was a pretty neat, cool book. Another one that won't break the bank if you buy it. This is kind of cool. So they have these shields in the book. It says A1, I believe. Anyway, it's like a badge, right? Mine is clipped. It's cut out in this book. And usually, like, that's a terrible thing. Nobody wants to have that, right? But this might be one of the times where I'm halfway okay with it, because I know that nobody took those darn guitar lessons or sent away for the swimming nematodes and whatnot. But that kid who cut that badge out was very cool for the length of time that he was a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think that's kind of neat. I know that it's in there and I know that it devalues it, but I think that one's kind of cool. That just thinking about some kid back in, let me look, 1963, playing with that badge he cut out of there. All right, next we have another big book here. This is my Daredevil #1. One of my favorite superheroes here. It's a low-grade copy. It's 0.5 at best. It's missing, I think there's a board in there. Is that clear? Anyway, it's missing the back cover. The colors aren't the best on it, but hey, it's my Daredevil 1 from February 10th, 1964, according to that stamp, and I'm very happy to have it. I bought a lot of these big books during the comic boom. That's the only thing that makes me mad. This was part of that. Strange Tales 110. First appearance of Paste Pot Pete. Ha ha ha. First appearance of Doctor Strange. This is from July 1963. Cool book, big book. It's 2.5 CBCS. Creamed off-white pages. Has a smudge on there. Happy to have it though. Overpaid. Prices have come down on all these big books, at least from when I bought them. So poo-poo for me, but hooray for everybody who was able to get them for good deals. Here's another Silver Age appearance. This is the first Silver Age appearance of the Penguin. Batman 155, good book. May 1963. Have a slew of 1963s here. That Strange Tales was from 63. This is from 63, and this is February from 63. Just another one of the classic covers that cropped up in the 60s. This is another Jack Kirby classic Thor book. But two really cool books here. Penguin. Some people don't like this cover, and I don't know why. I mean, there's a lot of silly and zaniness. I think it's just because of, I don't know the number, but I think his second Silver Age appearance has like really cool purples, like flying in on one of his umbrellas. So it's super cool, but I don't know. He's coming down this dragon from his trick umbrella there, and I mean, you get like silly stuff from these DC books, so I think it's par for the course, and then you just get this classic Thor shot here. Super cool. I was very happy to get that one. All right, this next one's a big book for me. We have from May 1962, first Silver Age appearance of Namor the Submariner. It's a 2.0, off-white pages. Some little kid outlined some of the characters there. You can see on Human Torch there, and on the face of Doctor Strange. But it's not gross you know, it's contained to some degree. I was pretty happy to get that book. That's come down a lot in price. That's the only thing I have to complain about is I paid probably, we'll just say the same for this as what you could probably get a 4.0 for now. So it's like, man, do I sell this? Do I save up my money? You know, then I'm paying like the same price and a half for, or double or whatnot for a little bit of a higher grade. But that's my only complaint is I could have gotten that book for half off or gotten a better grade book for the same price. But hey, it's in my collection. I'm happy to have it, and it'll stay there for a while. That went a long while. This is a cool book. I got into Hawkman for a bit. This is origin and first Silver Age appearance of Hawkman and Hawkgirl, the great Joe Kubert on art on this one. This is from March 1961. This is a creamed off-white pages. Happy to have this one. Cool book, nice book in here. I think the Hawkman design, some people kind of don't give it the credit that it's due, I think, but I don't know. He's coming at you. I'd be kind of scared. And I love the fact that he wields these kind of antiquated weapons, but he's galactic future cop kind of. So I don't know. It's just kind of a pretty neat design and neat way how he goes about accomplishing his feats. 1961 will bring a close for me the 60s, and now we will move on to I think the last set here, which are the 50s and actually some from the 40s, but let's see what we have. Okay. Oh, did I get these out of order? I got these out of order. Let's see what we can do. All right. All right. First up here should be, so you put all this stuff in order, then what happens? Then things get out of order. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, got this cool January 1959 book, GI Combat number 68. This is a prototype of Sergeant Rock. Well, I'll just show the next book. There's a couple books from the DC. Normally DC books are not valued as much as Marvel books. Seems like there's more, well, there's Atlas books. Maybe there's more desirable. Maybe more people are wanting more of the DC books, like from the 50s and stuff. Because here's another one. Here, I have my Showcase 17. It's a 0.5. It's missing a page, but it doesn't affect the story. And it's still a decently priced book. As the grades, the first appearance of Sergeant Rock in low grade, first appearance of Adam Strange in low grade, well, maybe higher than 0.5, but they rapidly climb up there. 2.0s are thousands of dollars. So I went ahead and I settled on a lower grade of my Adam Strange here. And then I don't have the first appearance of, spoiler alert, I don't have the first appearance of Sergeant Rock yet. Maybe that will happen, but I've got slightly brittle pages here. This might be due for an upgrade at some point. This is a nice Gil Kane cover. Really like that cover. Really like Adam Strange. Along with Conan and Jonah Hex, action adventures, just something that's pretty fun to me. So that's right up your alley if you like that stuff. Oh, I'm making a mess. I'm gonna have to reorganize this stuff to put it away. Okay, how about another war book? GI Combat 44 from January of 1957. GI Combat's a pretty, there was a slew, Our Army at War, Star Spangled War Heroes, things like that. Anyway, DC's at one point was kind of known, probably more so than Marvel, for its war books. GI Combat is one of those titles, and this is the first DC published GI Combat book. They did a slew of these gray tone covers, and this is the first one of those. This is a lower grade, but kind of a neat book of comic book history. Anyway, it is, so. Again, we have unheralded first Silver Age appearance of Aquaman and Green Lantern. It's Silver Age, it says, I guess, according to Key Collect, but this is from 1956, October of 1956. We're considered the Silver Age here, so that's fine. again, just, you know, it's not the best cover, is it? But they just don't command the prices. If that were a Marvel character from the same kind of thing, I think it would be a bit more desirable of a book. This is probably a top 10 cover of mine. Bill Everett, Submariner number 33. I believe this is, yeah, from 1954. And it's a nice atlas, pre-code, kind of, has the approved by that, but it's not the Comic Code Authority stamp on there. But I actually have another one on the way that it's kind of like a combination of the two. It's a low-grade book. It's missing the corner, all of the corner, I guess. But this one's restored. This one isn't, in the lower grade one. I mean, this is lower grade, but the other book I have coming just presents a kind of, like I said, it's just a combination of the two. It is missing the corner, but it presents better to this one, and it is not restored. So I don't know what I'll do with these. Maybe I'll just start a Submariner 33 collection, because especially the early Submariner books, again, especially other than the early lower numbered books are really nice. The ones done by Schomburg are really cool, but they kind of get funky. You know, Everett went to war along with other people, but Everett was at war, maybe I should say, and they had some other artists take over, and that was like the big triangle head of Submariner. So we got back a little bit to, I'll say, classic, in my opinion, cool Submariner, with some of these, but definitely one of the better non-Schomburg covers. And yeah, so I'm very happy to have that, and another one on the way. All right, we're kind of getting down to it here. This is, I think that was part of my top 10. I had to have my guy, Russ Heath, in on my top 50. Russ Heath is, if you don't know, is known for mostly his war comic work. This is, in my opinion, one of the best Russ Heath covers here. This is Battlefront 15 from 1953, January of 1953. Great strangulation cover here. This is kind of indicative of what Heath is known for. The lights, how it's just lit up, especially on that guy's face with the dark right under his helmet there, on his brow, or in his eyes. Can't really see that. The deep recesses on his face and the shadow in there, and this guy's face is lit up. He's kind of well known for that. I would say his colors are always fantastic. He didn't color his own work. I should probably try and figure that out. I don't think his colorist gets a lot of credit, because that's half of what makes it. I don't know about half. Anyway, however you want to crack it down, but that's about half of what makes them so nice. But Russ Heath, look it up if you don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. This is one of the more well-known ones, and one that I think belongs in my top 50. Super happy to have that. I could have picked any number of war books that I have. Maybe I'll do a top 10 or so war books in my collection that would feature a lot of Russ Heath. But like the romance cover, the young romance, I figured I'd throw a book to kind of show off the war genre. Maybe get you a little kind of like, oh wow, that is a really cool cover. Let me check out some of those. Here's another one. This is more of the history. Got my GI Combat history here. This is GI Combat number 1. This is from 1952, October of 1952. It's just a couple months before that Battlefront. But this is from Quality Comics, and this is the kind of stuff you would see, well, along with that Battlefront, just more brutality on the covers before the code. This is a low grade. I think the spine's completely split, but you see guy kind of getting rocked back there. He doesn't seem like he's doing too well. But, you know, like I said, there's a few lines that survived. GI Combat, they produced books into the 80s. Battlefront didn't make it that long, but I think GI Combat's one of the more well-known war lines, so to have the number 1 from 1951, I think it's pretty cool and belonging on my top 50. Cool covers. Let's see some more. Okay, this is not a classic yet, but things that pre-code collectors, Golden Age collectors look for. This is a book that has it all. This is Captain Science 7 from Youthful Magazines. Looks like this is a nice Christmas, December 1951 book. We have skeletons. We have, some people don't like yellow covers, but we have a yellow cover. Some people, I think, collect just yellow covers. I think the yellow and the green look fantastic together. We don't have a red dress, but we have a red jumpsuit. If you don't know a lot of Golden Age books, they say red dress in distress. We definitely have a female in distress. She's in red, it just doesn't happen to be a dress. We have a bubble helmet. We have some sort of futuristic ray gun. I don't know if that's gonna work on this guy. We have this knife in here, and he is has her in bondage. That's another one. And looks like he's taking her back to this coffin. So I don't know, things are kind of looking dire for our hero and our heroine here, but a super cool book from 1950. I think it's relatively scarce, but I'm not sure. You don't see too many of these. The whole Captain Science run, I have one more. I think this is the better book, but the whole Captain Science run is great. There's some Wally Wood in there. If you don't know Wally Wood, you probably know of him, but his Golden Age work is highly regarded, and and rightly so. Okay, we go from okay, so that was my last book in the 50s. We're now jumping to the 40s, and I think we have 5 or 6 more books. And this one's a bit of a cheat, kind of. So, if you look up Zorro and try and find his first appearance, there is this book, and this is an unlicensed version of Zorro. And I didn't read it, I flipped through the book, and I don't see this guy anywhere else. So I'm thinking he's just on the cover, and it might just be this guy, and we're calling that Zorro. I don't know. I didn't do my my research. But anyway, this is Hit Comics, and this is from November of 48. So we'll keep that in mind, November of 48. And then in May of 49, Dell came out and they said, we see you're unlicensed Zorro and we'll raise you licensed Zorro. So we have Dell 4-color 228 from 1949. This is a CBCS 7.0 off-white to white pages. This one has a little bit of a schmutz on there. That's not coming off. I tried to get that off. Anyway, we have the Mark of Zorro, the first appearance of Zorro in comics, I believe. Really nice, cool back cover here. Nice colors on there. Wraparound cover. Probably not the first wraparound cover, but you know, hey, what was the first wraparound cover? Does anybody know? When did they start doing those? Anyway, Zorro, really cool character. Has been around for a long time, and very happy to get his first appearance here in comic book form from 1949. It's kind of a long time ago, so hopefully I'll make it to the 100-year anniversary for that. All right, getting down to it, couple more. Probably haven't seen this one too often. This is Blue Bolt, Volume 1, Number 4, from July of 1940, and this is a very cool, one of the best signatures in the biz. Bill Everett cover there. It's not that big. This is another Golden Age book, shark cover. Some people just collect shark covers, and this is a nice one from there. I don't really have much to say about it. I saw an opportunity to pick it up, and I picked it up. Old book, 1940. All right. Sticking with Bill Everett, we have Heroic Comics number 1, the first appearance of Hydro Man. I think his, where is it? Here. If the camera will kind of picks it up there. Anyway, I think he has a great signature. This is the first appearance of Hydro Man. This is from 1940. A lot of these last books are from, all not from 1940, but this is from, oh wait, the other one's from July. This one should be first anyway. This is August of 1940. Doesn't really matter at this point. I only have one book left, but so if you don't know, Bill Everett created Hydro Man. He's also created Submariner, as well as Daredevil and probably other characters too. But yeah, Namor was first, and then he went off and did this Hydro Man. But I was pretty happy to pick this book up here. He's got tape all along the spine, or maybe that was the Blue Bolt. But yeah, super cool book. Happy to get that. There's a really nice copy on eBay right now, as of this filming, for the second issue of that, and that's really cool. So last but not least, this is Flash Comics number 7. This is from July 1940. There's some glue on this spine, but that's not a very minor amount. It can be removed. It is a blue label. It's off-white to white pages. This is the most money I've spent on a comic book. I just think this cover's fantastic. I do wish it was a little bit cleaner, maybe a little bit brighter, but if you don't know, well, it's the second Hawkman cover, and the first time that Sheldon Moldoff did, it's the first Moldoff Hawkman cover. So, it's not obviously it's the second time he's been on the cover. The first one wasn't done by Moldoff, and look at the way he does the wings. I just think that's so fantastic. I talked about the red dress in distress. Here, this is the variation. This is the green girl in distress. Green dress in distress, I should say. But love these coming down out of the sky, obviously, because he can fly, grabbing this dude by the throat. He was up to no good, too. I don't know why he's all white. I love these, these furry boots that he has strapped on there. I'm a fan of clean images on my books. I think Schomburg is great. I'd love to own some Schomburgs. I like when a lot of stuff is going on, but sometimes for me, just from a purely aesthetic version, it's just a little bit too much. And not all the time, but I'm just a sucker, and I'll show it again here. It's one reason why I like Russ Heath so much too, is you just get these clean books. It's just not cluttered and overwhelming. But anyway, I was very happy to get this Flash number 7 in. I just think it's great with the colors, even if these are a little bit muted here. Very happy to get it. That's all I have. This was harder than I thought. People say that, and you're like, it's probably not that. Like, you get, and I don't have, the craziest books, but I'm happy and proud of my collection here. I'm happy with it, as much as anyone can be, as things are shifting and you're adding and subtracting if you subtract and things like that. But I was very happy. It was hard. You get to a certain number and then you start kind of throwing things in, or you have all these cool number 1s and you're like, well, is this better than the first appearance of Static, or some of these earlier books, which is a bigger, cooler book, Submariner 1, or the first appearance of Damian Wayne, or things like that. So that was kind of a little hard to do. But I was super happy to do this. I'm glad to get it cataloged. I'll probably revisit it at some point, see if things have changed. I'm kind of getting into the whole Golden Age era. I'm liking my war books. I'm liking my romance books. So I might ship off some of these Silver Age books to pick up some Golden Age. So maybe, next time I do a top 50, it'll be top 50 in all Golden Age, or a smattering, because I do have probably like you, eclectic tastes, a little bit of everything, but there are definitely things that I lean into. And once you start collecting for a while, you start to figure out what those are, whether it's pre-code horror, or whatever it might be for you, the types of covers that you like collecting as well. So, hey, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I don't always say thank you. Sometimes I forget, but so thank you. And just like you, more books are on the way.